Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the show. I'm very excited to be here today. I am actually recording this with a video as well. So if you're watching this, hi. I don't often record video for my own solo episodes because as you know, if you've been listening to this for a while, I tend to record my episodes when I'm just feeling really high energy and when I'm just feeling really aligned. And I always close my eyes when I record because I literally share everything from my soul, what is just coming up in that moment. I don't structure anything. I don't have a script. I don't even have prompts half the time. I have an overall idea of what I want to talk about, and then I just share from what is inside. So this is a bit different. I am setting myself a goal of trying to be more visible in a way of just creating video content because I love to create my podcast episodes. It's my favorite thing to do, to be able to share the message, the impact that I'm here to create. And what better way to do it than actually seeing my face, seeing who I am? If you can hear a bit of a croakiness, there is a bit of croakiness there, but I kind of like it. So let's go with it. And I wanted to come on stage to talk about a incredible Wealthy Women Day that I had yesterday. So my soul sister, Anna May, she is a empowerment and manifestation coach, and she's actually someone I only connected with earlier this year through one of my good friends, Laura, and she just put us in touch because she said you need to have a conversation with Anna, like you two are just so aligned. So we had a call and we've just been chatting for ages, and we booked in she doesn't live far from me. We booked in what we were calling our Wealthy Woman shopping day earlier this year. I think it was around May time we went in Bicester Village. Now, if you live anywhere near the area or in the UK, you might have heard of Bicester Village. It's a shopping outlet place, and it's got top end designers, so premium luxury, Gucci, Prada, all of the gorgeous high end fashion brands. And we went for this shopping day in May with zero money to spend on clothing. But we went there because the mission and the goal for the day was to really step into the next level version of ourselves and to feel, to absorb, to get all of our senses going in terms of actually embodying the future version of ourselves. So when you work in manifestation, the thing that works in manifestation is you become that person. You open yourself up to what is possible by already being that person. So when we talk about being your next level self, we mean things like, what does your next level self do? So when you don't have the current blocks that you have maybe in your current reality, once you've achieved all of those goals, what does your life look like? How do you show up? Like, what are you actually doing in your day-to-day life? And start doing that now, because it's actually starting to then almost trick your brain, trick the universe into seeing that actually you already have that stuff now. So it then opens up that as your possibility. So we had this shopping day in May, and I didn't even buy a coffee. I think Anna bought a coffee. But we went into all of the shops. We tried on the coats, we tried on the gorgeous stuff. We were touching everything, like £1,000 full sequin trousers. If you've seen me at an event recently, you'll know I love a bit of sequins, bit of sparkle, and I fell in love with these trousers that were £1,000. And it was a really interesting concept because previously, like previous years, I would have gone into I wouldn't have even gone into the shops actually. I literally wouldn't have gone in because I would have had this thought of, well, I can't afford anything in there. So what is the point in going in? And feeling like if I did go in that shop, that I didn't belong there. So this day was all about we absolutely belong in all of these spaces. Spending or investing £1,000 on a pair of trousers, it's like no big deal. Like it's just part of what we do once we have all of this stuff that we want in our lives. And the experience was just so incredible. It was actually like my favorite shopping day I've ever had in my life. And I didn't purchase one single thing, not even a cup of coffee. But we went into all these shops, trying on all these things. We were literally living our best life. We tried on all the gorgeous perfumes and just really immersed ourselves into this whole world. And when you look around, in somewhere like Bicester Village, it is surrounded by very wealthy people that are literally going in and they are spending like £5,000 in a shop. And that's just normal. That's just a normal thing for them to do. And previously, I would have looked at them and just thought, oh my God, like how the other half live. And I know Anna did a talk on this yesterday in her free Facebook group, which I am going to link below, by the way. It's for those of you that are 40 plus that are looking to live your best life. You don't have to be in business. It's just for anybody that's 40 plus. I'm already in there. I'm not even at that 40 stage yet, but I'm approaching it very quickly. Um, And she talked about how it's all of those things that we heard growing up, that money doesn't grow on trees, that how the other half live, and oh, it's okay for them. But you can actually choose to be that person now. Like, we put so much focus on money, but money is just energy. It's literally just energy. And every single thing in your life, in the world, has energy. It's all got a different frequency. And it's about really tapping into those frequencies to allow those opportunities to open up. So by doing these wealthy women shopping days, now yesterday I did actually make a purchase, only £20, but I bought myself a coffee, a pastry, and £20 of beauty products in Clarins. So already that little shift. I mean, there were coats and things that I absolutely loved that I would have got, but that's not what this day was about. It wasn't actually about buying things. It was about just us immersing ourselves in the experience of being in these places and feeling so like we belong there. Like, Anna had the guys in the shop coming up to her, putting the coats on her, and she was just like absolutely lapping it up. It was almost like the scene in Pretty Woman where she suddenly goes from being the girl that they don't even want in the shop to just having all these beautiful clothes and being treated so differently. Like, that is exactly how we felt. And this is all part of it. It's all part of the embodiment. It's like, if you think of a car that you would love to have, the best way that you can manifest it is to experience what it's like when you already have that. So go and take it for a test drive. Book that test drive before you can even afford the car. Go and do those things. Actually put yourself into those situations so you can start to immerse yourself into that experience and feel like it's already there. That is what is going to really speed up your manifestations from happening. And I wanted to also touch a little bit on, now, I've covered a bit on like the limiting beliefs and the money doesn't grow on trees and how the other half live. And I just want to share something that I know is going to help someone that is listening or watching this, in that this doing these things was something that I would never have even considered doing even a few years ago when I was in a rock bottom moment. And I did a post on my rock bottom moment yesterday, I think it was, because I felt really called to share it, that the reality is we all go through ups and downs. There is like a pendulum. So when you are in the absolute high and things are going great, you've got the clients, the wealth, like everything is kind of falling into place and you feel really good, there is always going to be that shift back, that pendulum shift back, that is going to then reflect the, oh my God, what is happening? Like, whether it's a hormone thing, maybe it's a situation you've got in your life that has completely made you spiral and feel like everything's falling apart, and knowing that, oh my God, like this doesn't feel safe anymore. I don't feel comfortable here. But knowing that that is part of it. It's part of the process. That pendulum is always going to swing back and forth throughout your journey, and there's always going to be shifts and changes. Now, my rock bottom moment for me in 2023 really was about me then saying, I'm not gonna carry on like this. I'm not gonna keep on showing up like everything's fine when I feel completely broken inside, because that felt out of integrity. Like, my whole business was around empowering people to show up with confidence and to have the amazing branding and attract the dream clients. But I couldn't see that myself. Like, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't have any confidence in myself. I'd completely lost my way. I was mentally, physically, just emotionally drained from everything, from motherhood, from the immediate shift you have when you become mother. Because I set up my business when my firstborn was only a few months old, and I've had two other children since and experienced miscarriages and everything that comes with it, the emergency C-section I had that really caused some postnatal depression and all of that kind of stuff. Like, there was a lot that I've gone through. And yet in those moments when things felt tough, when I was having the sleepless nights with newborns, going through potty training, all of the things that come with being a mum, I was still showing up. I was still being visible. I was still putting on the smile, making out everything was okay, when it really wasn't at all. And I was reflecting on this rock bottom moment because it was that moment for me that made me realize I am not going to settle. I'm not going to stay in this zone, because the only person that can actually make a change here is myself. Like, I'm the only person that can decide I'm not going to accept this anymore and I'm going to do something about it. And that was when I talk about my spiritual awakening. So the end of 2023 was when I started looking into different modalities and understanding different healing and empowering and identity shifting practices in all sorts of things. So things like belief coding, Reiki, timeline therapy, hypnosis, like doing different exercise, breath work, like so many different things. And I was investing my time and money in working with absolute experts in their field. And one thing that I noticed, and I'm going to fast forward into my event in a second because that was why I created it. But what I noticed was there were so many incredible people out there that were literally changing lives. Like the people that helped me in my journey over the last couple of years have changed my life. They've helped me to show up as the person I am now, to be on camera sharing this very episode, to be able to go and have these wealthy women days, to be able to speak on stage, to share my message and to empower others to do the same. Because that rock bottom moment is a real reflection of like what I've overcome, like what I've gone through. And everybody, when I talk about a rock bottom moment, that is going to be different for everyone. So for some people, it might be a real severe trauma. It might be something that happened in your childhood. It might be a like a triggering client that you've worked with. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be like this really big thing. It could be something minor, but if it has triggered you in a way that has made you show up differently, that's made you feel uncomfortable and repeatedly, maybe it's something that's been going on for a while, maybe it's like health, whatever it is, rock bottom looks different for everybody. And it's never thinking, oh, well, my rock bottom wasn't really a rock bottom because that person was struggling more than me. Like for me, that rock bottom I had in 2023 was just, I just felt broken. I just felt really out of alignment. I didn't really know what I was doing. Everything looked great on paper. I had everything. I had the family, the kids, I had the business that was going well. Um, like things on paper looked great, but I didn't feel great because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how to show up. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what direction I was taking. I didn't know what my next investment should be. I just had so much noise and overwhelm in all directions of life, business, the online space, like everything. And I just felt like inside I just wanted to scream because I didn't know what my next step needed to be. And at that point, I didn't know how to tap into my own soul's purpose because I hadn't done any of that work. So me understanding my human design, understanding what my soul's purpose is, to really feel empowered, to feel confident, to know what feels really good and in alignment with me and what doesn't. But until I'd started doing this work over the last couple of years, I wouldn't have known that. I would have gone and pushed ahead thinking, oh, well, that's working for that person. So I need to do that as well because that's the bit I'm struggling with. There's no one set strategy that's going to work for everybody, just like there is no one healing practice or modality that is going to work for everybody. It's about understanding what is available to you and finding what works for you. And that is what the last couple of years have been about for me. It's been really looking at different practices, trying them out and being consistent with them, because you can't just try something once and say, oh, it didn't work. Like you've got to be consistent with it and give it a chance to work. But for me, like I would say every single thing that I've practiced has worked. It has helped me in some capacity, some things more than others. Like for energy healing for me works really well. So I love things like well, healing work, Reiki, anything like that. Hypnosis works really well for me. But there are other modalities that maybe don't work so well or do in depending on what time of the month it is, because hormonal shifts have a huge impact in how we feel, particularly as women. And it's really appreciating those rock bottom moments, because if it wasn't for those, you wouldn't have got to where you are now. And if you're in a rock bottom moment right now, watching this, listening to this, please know that this doesn't last forever. You can choose today to do one thing differently. Maybe it is go and have a long bath. Maybe it is going out for a longer walk. Maybe it's just standing in your garden or leaning out of your window doing some breath work for 5 minutes, like, or even 30 seconds. It's doing one thing that is going to shift your energy now that will help you to start to shift out of that rock bottom, because it's tiny steps that make that ripple effect and really help you to build that momentum and shift out of those spaces. So the reason I created my event recently, which I'm still buzzing about, I can't believe it was only 2 weeks ago, because so much has happened since then. The messages I've had from people launching podcasts, events, collaborations, like having amazing clients, hitting a huge milestone financially, like things that they are messaging me about, saying it was literally being in that space, in the room, being surrounded by that energy that's helped them to shift their identity, and it's opened up all these incredible things. Like that is what I wanted from this event. It was all about that. It was all about creating that magic that does create such an impact for other people's lives. And I created Light Leaders because the people I worked with in the last 2 years that have quite literally changed my life, that work in healing, that work in energy practices and holistic coaching, they have been people who And I know this is like quite, this is something that I see a lot in the wellness spaces, particularly, is they don't feel like they need to show up. They don't feel like they need to be center stage in what it is that they're doing, because actually their clients are coming to them for the transformation they create, not for them. And I'm here to put a change to that, because I truly believe that we invest in things and in people because we connect with that person that is selling that offer. The reason we go back to someone time and time again is because we've got a connection with the person. You are your personal brand. So even if you're somebody that works in acupuncture, as an example, people are coming to you, sure, for the acupuncture, but they're coming to you because they connect with you. They want to work with you as an acupuncturist, not somebody else. So actually taking center stage, showing up, like showing your face, like talking to your audience and building that personal connection, because people buy from people. And I just thought it was such an incredible thing. And I know I've had many opportunities in terms of in-person speaking where, because of having a small audience, it has been a big investment to be able to speak. Rightly so, because events cost a lot of money, and that is how a lot of event hosts make their money from it, because they have sponsors, they have speakers that have invested to be there if they've got a smaller audience, and those that do have a huge audience will bring more people in. So naturally, like, as in terms of a business decision, it makes sense. But for me, I just felt there was a gap in the market. There was a real gap in that these incredible healers didn't want to take center stage. They didn't even know that that was a thing. It wasn't something that was really of interest to them. So they wouldn't have put themselves forward to speak at an event where they've got to invest a lot of money, because one, they might not have seen that as a good investment in themselves. And two, they probably wouldn't have had the confidence if they've had to invest that amount of money, which then means probably the people in the audience have invested maybe more to even be there. The pressure that you then put on yourself, and even if you have the coaching, that's quite a scary thing to do, particularly for your first speaking gig. And I thought, how amazing would it be if these change makers, cycle breakers, are having an opportunity to speak and share their magic, but without having to have that huge investment up front that might put them off doing it in the first place. I wanted to create a space where these people could come forward and share their expertise. Like, some of these people had been doing what they do for decades. They're hugely experienced in their niche, and they're hugely heart-led, because the reason they're doing what they're doing as healers, as holistic coaches, as wellness providers, is they want to make other people feel better. They want to make a difference. That's why they're in their industry. And for me, those people need to share their light on and create a bigger impact because of what they're doing. Like, literally, that's what I just feel. And I feel like I'm here, my purpose is to empower other people, to allow people to take up more space in their own life, to live their best life, and to be the main character in their journey. So Like Leaders was created to create that opportunity to bring these kinds of people that maybe perhaps wouldn't have even attended an event like this, let alone offer to speak at it, to make them see that actually, like, they have got a huge amount of expertise. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for such a long time. They could literally talk somebody like in person. They could literally tell somebody in person what they do for hours. So of course they could do like a 15-minute speaker slot in front of 50 people. Like, and there might have been a slight shift there in terms of that feels a bit scary, but I'm going to do it anyway. So my event had a real mix of professional, like, experienced speakers as well as brand new speakers. And you honestly would not have known the difference. And I had that feedback from people that were there saying I could not tell who had done speaking before and who hadn't. Like, you just couldn't tell. And I think that's what I wanted from this event. It was to create an opportunity for industry experts who maybe hadn't had that speaking opportunity to have that space to be able to share their magic. And I'm so excited for 2026, because what I've got planned for the next Light Leaders event is going to be even bigger and better. If you haven't got your ticket, I will put the link in the show notes below. It's on the 6th of October, 2026. And just to recap on what has happened for me personally, like, that creating this event was, if you'd have told me 5 years ago that I would be creating a yearly event to bring 50 plus people together in a room, to be able to speak on stage in front of 100 people, to have all the opportunities, to be writing a book, to be hosting a retreat, like all of the things that I've got planned and that I am doing now, if you'd have told me that 5 years ago, I would have laughed. I would have not believed it, because I did not have the confidence to be able to do that. Like, it just wasn't a thing. And Had I not have gone through the rock bottom moment I had in 2023, I wouldn't be here now. Like I wouldn't have gone on the journey, the healing journey. I wouldn't have even opened up my eyes to working with such incredible change makers. And I would have been very much wrapped up in the world of business and strategy and all of the like kind of surface level mindset stuff, which is great and that does help. But for me, I needed inner healing because a lot of my healing journey that I've had to do over the last couple of years has actually stemmed from my childhood and past generational, not necessarily traumas, but beliefs that have been brought into my adult life now that have held me back in so many ways that I didn't even realize. So, doing this work has been a complete game changer for me. I share the magic that I have been on with other people all the time. I'm always referring people to those that I've worked with and other people that I know that do a similar thing because I just think this work is so powerful, whether you have a business or not. Like, whether you are thinking about setting up a business, you already are running a business, or you're someone that's employed, or you're a stay at home mum, like, whatever it is that you do now, you are your personal brand and you get to decide how you show up. You get to decide what your big goals and your big visions are and how you're going to step into that version of yourself, how you're going to create that magic, how you're going to invest in the support you need to help you to get there. And I'm so grateful for every single person that's been a part of my journey because honestly, like the last 2 years has just been so crazy. The things that have happened, the things that I've had to go through, to feel, to really work on, to overcome blocks that I had. And this is like an ongoing thing, right? Like you're never a completely healed person. There is always more healing to be doing. And I'm just really proud to be able to host this event that I'm doing every year where I get to bring such incredible souls together and to be able to connect with such amazing people that are literally changing the game for so many others. And if you are interested in coming into any of my spaces or even having a conversation about working together, if you're someone that is like, I've been doing this work for such a long time. I never show up. I never show my face. I know I need to change things, but I just don't have the confidence to go there yet, or I don't even know what my next step is. Drop me a message on social media. You can find me on Instagram at Jacquie Laws, or you can find the podcast channel at Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. Drop me an email, hello@jacquielaws.com, and I will come back to you. So, yeah, I'm always open to having a conversation and seeing how I can support you, or even to point you in the direction of perhaps a previous podcast episode or a blog post, or even somebody I know that is amazing at what they do that would be the perfect match for you. Like, I'm here to help guide you in a way that feels good to you. That is what soul alignment is for me. So thank you for listening to this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a review, and I will be back next week for another dose of magic. Hope you have a beautiful week, and I will speak to you soon.